All right, so some first impressions right off the rip. I love your monitor layout. I think your Gobi glides fit well. The aesthetic is great. I love the plants kind of hidden around. Love that. I would say this is probably a solid 7 because the aesthetics are there, the organization skills are there, but at the same time, I feel like it's a little cluttered. It's cozy, but it's not like insane or anything crazy. I wouldn't give it a 10. I feel like this is a solid 7. Now I'm going to give you some advice on how to fix this setup. So one thing I've noticed right off the bat is the color scheme is kind of wonky. You have a red mic, you have a green mouse, you have an orange PC, and you have orange behind your monitor, right? So we need to figure out a way to consolidate your color scheme. Your color scheme just seems a little bit over the place, right? If you want to stick to a color scheme like this green, I would use a lot of white peripherals, like more white accents to your setup, because like you're running this green and like nature orangey vibe, right? So if you're going for that, you need to have more natural light in your room. And then also another tip I would give you is these speakers seem really out of place. I would get rid of both of them and then just get one sound bar that goes underneath your monitor. This way it looks a lot cleaner and you can still use the speakers if you like, but these aren't like really worth to have because they don't really look proportional in your setup. So I think really putting a sound bar here would be perfect instead of that, and that would actually clean up your desk and make this area more useful. And the lights up top, I know you're just trying to show like the effect, but I feel like they just seem in a weird place. I mean, it's not really symmetrical. Like if you see like it all orange, it looks great. This is great. But yeah, those are some tips I would give you. I mean, that would make it a 9 or a 10. But yeah, overall cable management's pretty solid. I don't see really a cable in sight. And I love the aesthetic. So, and you're also 13. So for a 13-year-old setup, this is pretty insane. I can't lie. So thank you so much for spinning, Sinks. We're moving on to the next one. Cable management is mid temporary until I get the proper equipment. Currently waiting on the Starlight Poseidon, hence the trash mouse. Okay, perfect. Let's check out all of his pictures really quick. Okay, so I'm just going to give some initial impressions of it. Honestly, okay. You said you're working on cable management. Okay. Honestly, Poe, I like it. I just think the only thing, like the first initial impression I have is that it's just a little bland. Really, that's all I think. I just think it's bland. Minimal and bland, there's a balance, okay? Personally, I think this is a 8 out of 10 again. One, I feel like the personality is not developed in the setup. Not that the setup is bad in any way. It has everything it needs to succeed and play games, okay? The way you can make this better is adding some personality to the setup. Photos in your setup or artwork or plants or nature or stuff like that. Like, because you see a lot of minimal setups that have ultra wides and stuff, like things on their desk that kind of represent them or bring other things to pop. Like an example, if you look a lot of a minimal ultra wide setups, you see like, you know, like plants or things like that to kind of brighten up the setup more. And I feel like this just is blah. You know what I mean? It's not that you have any bad peripherals or anything like that, but I feel like adding like maybe photos in this cool wall that you have, or adding like a poster above or things like that, more personality, like show who you are in these, and things like that will really help out a setup. But your keyboard is really ultra clean. I love the vibe you have going. It's not bad at all. It's a great setup. It just needs personality, and I feel like it'll be a 10. I'm 15, and this is what I put together. Bro, this is clean for 15. This is absolutely clean for 15. Dude, I would think this is like a 20-year-old setup, man. This is crazy looking. For 15 years old, this is insane. 15 years old, chat. At 15, my setup looked absolutely dog compared to this. So, one, let me just congratulate you for being 15 and having this clean of a setup. Okay, moving on from the initial impressions, I would say that this setup, I would rate it an 8 out of 10. You guys are probably going to think higher, but there's a few reasons why I don't think this is a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10 setup, and I'm going to give you guys them. It's very clean, but if you guys notice in this picture, there's a lot of symmetry issues. A lot of symmetry issues in this setup. Like you can see this painting here, it's slightly too far right. You can see the shelves are higher than each other. One's farther left than the other one, and I feel like it just makes the setup look not as symmetrical as it should be. I'm a big person on symmetry and making things look really symmetrical, so maybe that's why I would lower it to an 8. But to fix this, I feel like you just need to put the monitor more center with the desk, because you can see, like, look how much space you have from your chair to your Alex drawer here, and how much chair to your Alex drawer you have there, right? Center your monitor more on the center of this desk. I think all the rest of the stuff on the wall will be more center. Just by moving your monitors, I think it'll make the setup look even more symmetrical. I think it will make it so much more clean because everything else is symmetrical. Like your mic arm is in a perfect spot, maybe a slightly more right. Your PC's on a great spot. The shelves look like they're in the center. Everything else looks symmetrical, but your monitors. And I think that's why the setup looks slightly too far to the left. But overall, I mean, it looks great. Like, I'm not going to complain. The aesthetic you have is really well. And for a 15-year-old, this is insane, dude. Vices, is that how you say your name? I hope I said your name right. Initial impressions. Okay, one monitor setup, desk, very, very, you know, minimal, ultra, like not ultra wide, but 27-inch monitor looks like. Keyboard, mouse, SteelSeries mouse pad, speakers. I see these speakers in a lot in setups now. And these are the two pictures I have. I don't think there's any more, but okay. So initial impressions. I definitely think that it's not bad and it has a lot of potential. Genuinely, I think this is a 6 out of 10. And it could be a 9 or 8 out of 10. And there's a few things that I feel like could change. So let's start with that. So first off, I think you already know the cable management. You tried your best with this cable box, but what I think you should try to do, take this power strip out of the box, then run the cables up to the right and over and then here, because then all these cables get deleted instantly and everything is plugged underneath your desk. And you could use 3M tape or like even a Velcro strap like on both sides or something like that. Your aesthetic isn't bad. Your symmetry isn't bad. I like that you have like little things on the shelf, stuff like this. This is great. I love the paintings on the wall, stuff like that. It's really good. You're showing personality. I almost feel like a headphone hanger on either the wall or underneath your desk to hang your headset there would just be a clean addition. So you don't have to have it on the desk and it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. You set it on your headphone hanger. And then when you're ready to use it, you can pull it off the headphone hanger and you can just put it on like this. And you said you just bought one. Perfect. So yeah, so those are some things that I would recommend for your setup. I mean, honestly, it's not bad. It's a one monitor setup. Not everybody has to have the most insane triple quadruple monitor setup, right? Again, I'm gonna recommend the sound bar just because I feel like it looks so much cleaner than these two speakers here. Some sort of sound bar maybe above or below, like in between here, would just make this setup, I think, a lot cleaner. So in total, this setup isn't bad. Okay, I think it's really clean for what it is. I don't see a cable in sight besides this one. Personally, I think that you should somehow put your PC on this side, and there's a reason for that. Some people may disagree with me because they want to show off his PC, but if I'm being honest, it looks out of place here. Where he's sitting in correlation to his PC, it just looks out of place. Like, it looks too big right here. So say it was like in this corner and you like had it facing you, like in a corner where the back left fan is facing this wall, run the cables behind the case and down and over. That way it would be completely hidden. The PC's in this corner. It would fill in this gap a little bit more and you'd have more clean area here, because I feel like it's just too cluttered on the right side and then there's just nothing over here. Also, yeah, your RGB strips at the top, readhesive those if you can. And the shelves aren't bad. These shelves are great. I think these shelves add a lot of personality. You can see, you know, he's got G Fuel and other boxes he likes and stuff like that. The clock is pretty interesting. It's the low clock. Everyone uses it. It's not bad. I like the positioning of it. The pegboard is a little high for me, but if you like it there, it's fine. But yeah, this left side really needs to have something done with it because it just seems like it's too empty. So I think putting on this PC on this left side would look better. And also I do think some way diffusing these lights would help you out in some way too. I think I would give it like a 8 out of 10. And I think the way you could basically make it a 10 is one, move your PC on this left side, hide the cables behind it, get some longer cables, maybe move this main monitor more centered to this shelf and make this right monitor where your PC is now. That way you can have kind of a cleaner aesthetic than just having your PC right there. It takes up so much room for no reason. But other than that, the rest of your room is all aesthetically pleasing. I mean, you got some plants up here, you got a shelf, like it's all aesthetically pleasing. I just feel like it doesn't show much of you. Maybe adding something on your pegboard, like pictures of you, or maybe like some sort of poster in this corner here. Stuff like that will really just open up the room. Headphone hanger, great. Everything else looks great on the setup. I have no complaints really. You know, when you get more money, maybe upgrade your PC in some way. I feel like you're not running dual channel or anything. You got no RAM there. So I would recommend to upgrade your PC at some point. And yeah, honestly, not bad. I think it's a solid 8. I think it's a solid 8. Sorry for the bad pics. I've only redone it today, but I hope there's a lot better pictures. Okay. First thing I come into my mind is clean. This is nice. I wish I had more pictures, but it's okay. I understand you're rushing. It's good. But yeah, I think that this wall is such a good opportunity. It's just a massive wall that you have free space on. It's like you got this personality shoved to one corner and then you have this open spot right here. So I think you should definitely do that. Setup itself looks great. I mean, up top, if we were to delete the bottom part with the cable management, no cables in sight, looks great. I would recommend a headphone hanger. But other than that, personality above your setup, cable management, honestly, there you go. I think that would really create it. And I'm not going to say buy another second monitor, but if you don't stream or multitask, then it doesn't matter. You only play games on this, then you only need one monitor. Like some sort of either Govig glides or a shelf or like something like you did here, just to add more about you, because we want to know more about you. And yeah, I think I would rate this maybe a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 for personality. If you enjoyed that video, watch this one next, and don't forget to follow the Twitch down below. See you there.